you. When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's out of your mouth.
That's kid.
Guiltily, that is my daughter, Inez.
I'm so sorry we have to admit that.
And I am father of the year over here.
Total sicko, the exact opposite, in my viewpoint, of a fatherly instinct to protect your child, to protect your child's innocence, who could have used an AI voice. So I just wanted to point that out.
What Ryan Reynolds forced his daughter to do on Deadpool is one of the most abhorrent things I have ever heard of.
Seriously, if there are any lawyers in the house, let me know. Am I able to sue Sherry Panini and Ryan Reynolds? Am I able to sue them for what they did to this child?
But what he said there, he hopes that this is the most traumatic thing that will happen in their life. So he knows children should not be watching this. His children shouldn't be watching it. But then to think that his daughter was actually in this movie and how she didn't want to do it. It was against her will.
Ryan Reynolds accused of exploiting his own daughter on set. Hollywood in shock. Did you ever think you'd see Ryan Reynolds and exploiting his own daughter in the same headline? Neither did we. The internet nearly choked on its collective popcorn the moment rumors started swirling that Deadpool himself might have coaxed his child into voicing a very adult line for one of his zany films. Yes, the same Ryan Reynolds we've dubbed the king of witty tweets, and the coolest dad in Hollywood may have gone a step too far. And Tinseltown is positively reeling. But let's back up for a second. Ryan and his wife, Blake Lively, always seemed like the picture-perfect celebrity parents, right? They post cutesy family photos, joke with each other online, and occasionally grace us with adorable cameos. We all assume the children of these superstar lovebirds were basically living in a giant cotton candy machine of laughter and joy. Then the rumor mill revved up, and suddenly that bubblegum fantasy is looking more like a cringe-fest. Allegedly, Ryan had his daughter record dialogue that no child's ears, much less mouth, should probably ever be near. Think a comedic cameo that crosses well into "dude, what are you doing" territory. Word on the Hollywood street is that during some offshoot or commentary sequence, Ryan bragged about how he got his kid to recite a borderline X-rated line referencing something, well, adult. For comedic effect, of course. Or maybe for sheer shock value. Even we can't entirely figure that one out. Either way, it said that his daughter initially refused. As any rational child might, she presumably took a step back. Like, Dad, you want me to talk about what? But rumor has it Ryan sweetened the deal by saying, hey, if you won't say it, I'll just find some other kid who will. Cue the dramatic music. That's right, Mr. Reynolds might have basically threatened to recast his own daughter. Who does that? But it gets juicier and more uncomfortable. Supposedly, they had the child do multiple takes. Some folks are saying as many as 70 or more, which is about 69 more times than anyone wants to hear a kid reference the Wolverine side of the Marvel Universe in a cringy adult context. Are your parental senses tingling yet? Because a chunk of the internet is pretty outraged, saying, look, if your comedic bit involves your child saying things that even an R-rated crowd might blush at, maybe rewrite the joke. So how did the wisecracking star who jokes about everything, from gin to superhero suits, end up in the hot seat? Some fans are arguing that Ryan's entire shtick has always been about pushing boundaries. He's Deadpool after all, an anti-hero known for irreverent humor, swearing, and jokes so off-color you'd hide them from your grandma. But even Deadpool had the decency to keep minors off his front lines, right? The rumor that Ryan turned his daughter into a comedic prop for a borderline explicit gag has triggered more side-eyes than the Oscars front row after a questionable acceptance speech. To many, this fiasco doesn't seem like a simple oopsie. If these allegations hold water, it hints at a deeper problem. Maybe Ryan can't tell where the comedic boundaries end and real-life parenting begins. He might be so used to playing the cheeky father figure on social media that he's forgotten there's a line you probably shouldn't cross. Namely, having your underage kid do cameo lines that would make your average Disney Channel star run for cover. If the Reynolds household is the new comedic open mic night, Hollywood's starting to wonder who else might be getting roped into the stand-up routine. Just when you thought the drama ended with one off-color cameo, more dirt started to surface. For months, there have been whispers about Ryan and Blake using their kids as convenient excuses to dodge professional obligations. Show up for a film shoot? Sorry, can't. My child has the sniffles. Must attend a rap party? Oh no, the entire family came down with the cosmic plague. Now, no one's disputing that kids do get sick, sometimes with alarming frequency. But apparently, the timing was so suspect. Like, wait, you canceled on us hours before you were spotted belting out Taylor Swift songs at a stadium show? Suspect. Yikes. Then, it turned into a pattern. people in the industry started noticing that entire productions were being rearranged, filming dates pushed back, or shoots canceled at the last minute whenever Ryan or Blake decided the kids had an urgent crisis. Which, sure enough, would be magically resolved if a star-studded event popped up that same week. And let's be real, if you're the average camera operator, caterer, or hairstylist, you don't get to bail on your job just because your 8-year-old has a tummy ache. Especially if you're found clubbing that evening. That's precisely why so many behind the scenes got frustrated. In Tinseltown, time is money, and a big star's family emergency can cost tens of thousands of dollars or more. Now, some fans are calling the cameo fiasco exploitation 101, because what else do you call it when a kid is cornered into an R-rated line they clearly didn't want to say? Others, ever faithful, are defending Ryan. Hey, maybe the daughter is a spunky kid who wanted to be in on the joke. Or, kids gotta learn about Hollywood eventually. But let's step back. If you're 6 or 8 or even 10, your comprehension of a raunchy comedic bit is minimal at best. Sure, you might trust your dad, especially if he's a fun-loving actor in a bright red supersuit. You might think, Dad says it's okay, so it must be, right? The question remains, should Dad have asked in the first place? No matter how you slice it, the optics are cringe. In an era where everything from nepotism to child labor laws and entertainment is being scrutinized, it doesn't look great for a beloved star to gently strong-arm his own daughter into reciting adult content, even if it's just a voice cameo. The fact that Ryan apparently told the story with a big grin, as though it's a hilarious anecdote, is turning some fans from squealing to scowling in record time. What about the other half of this power duo? Blake Lively, often hailed for her glamorous red carpet appearances and savvy social media presence, is facing her own wave of eyebrow raises. People are now wondering, did she sign off on this cameo? Was she on set or at home with a tub of popcorn? And, most importantly, why hasn't she responded to any of these allegations? Usually so quick with an Instagram comeback or a witty remark, Blake's silence is definitely fueling the rumor flames. Perhaps she's letting Ryan take the heat, or maybe she's in damage control mode behind the scenes. We do know that a separate swirl of talk suggests Blake also uses the "kid is sick, gotta bounce" strategy on her own film sets. Canceling a shoot is no small deal. Actors, extras, lighting guys, you name it, they're all losing wages or pushing back other gigs. The difference is that Blake's alleged family emergencies might conveniently coincide with events like star-studded concerts and lavish parties. Coincidence or cunning strategy? The jury's out. One of the comedic ironies is that Ryan and Blake are adored partly because of how they brand themselves online. Fans eat up their playful back and forth, the birthday roasts, the stories of domestic bliss that often revolve around their children, with faces cleverly obscured for privacy, of course. But if the new allegations are to be believed, that same social media brand is a glitzy distraction from the reality that their kids might be pawns in a continuous PR game. The internet is torn. Some are convinced the pair are just fun, loving parents with comedic flair. Others suspect the perfect family vibe is about as genuine as a movie set facade. Remember, Ryan isn't just an actor. He's also been a producer, creative director, gin company owner, you name it. With brand deals and partnerships galore, he's basically an industry in and of himself. If these allegations stick, will they tarnish the unstoppable Reynolds brand? Possibly. Hollywood bigwigs get very squeamish when a star's personal drama could affect box office numbers or brand appeal. So you can bet studio executives are anxiously scrolling through social media, hoping for a quick resolution or at least a neatly packaged apology. And how about the fans? Oh, they're torn. One camp wants to believe Ryan did nothing malicious, that this is all a misunderstanding. Another camp is outraged, posting, "I'm never watching another Deadpool movie." Although, let's be honest, that might change the second a new trailer drops featuring witty one-liners and cameo mania. Some fans have taken it upon themselves to comb through older interviews, searching for any sign that Ryan's comedic parenting style was always a bit too edgy. Spoiler, they're finding enough eyebrow-raising jokes about his kids to keep the conversation alive. Hollywood adores a comeback story. If Ryan decides to come clean with an "I messed up folks" moment, maybe on late-night TV with an anecdote about how he was too wrapped up in comedic braggadocio to realize the cameo was out of line, some fans might forgive and forget. After all, who hasn't messed up in parenting at least once or twice? Though hopefully not with an R-rated cameo from your toddler. But so far, radio silence. Not a single Deadpool-esque tweet to address the situation head-on. No satirical Instagram post featuring the child cameo with a big oops overlay. That hush-hush approach might be strategic, or maybe their legal and PR teams are still in conference calls at all hours, deciding whether to blame the invisible Hollywood forces or to just ride out the scandal. Meanwhile, the rest of us are stuck in speculation mode, watching for the next shoe to drop. Will we see random behind-the-scenes footage magically appear, or paparazzi snapshots of Ryan and his kids happily skipping down the street to prove everything's fine? It's kind of wild to see Ryan Reynolds, famously beloved, famously sarcastic, under the microscope for potentially exploiting his own offspring. The comedic meltdown is so real, it almost feels scripted. One minute, he's the internet's favorite dad joke machine. The next, he's rumored to be corralling his daughter into grown-up comedic territory. And let's not forget how many fans out there see him as a role model, possibly rethinking their stance. The meltdown train isn't exactly losing steam. In a land as chaotic as Hollywood, the question on everyone's lips is, will this blow over, or is there more behind the scenes we haven't heard yet? People are rummaging for receipts, cross-referencing cameo voice bits, and analyzing suspicious schedule changes. We've got a brand new storyline that's weirder than any comedic cameo, like a mini-series about star parents who might be letting stardom cloud their parenting decisions. If you pitched that pilot in a Hollywood boardroom last year, they'd have laughed you out. Now we're living it. Look, nobody's perfect. Celebrities included. Parents make mistakes, especially under intense pressure and massive spotlights. But having your kid recite something, extremely explicit for comedic yucks, that's on a whole other level of, are you sure you thought this through? And the fact that there might be a pattern of using the kids as an all-access pass to skip out on professional obligations, that feels less like quirky parenting and more like questionable conduct. So, yes, Ryan Reynolds accused of exploiting his own daughter on set, Hollywood in shock, is a headline we never saw coming. It's equal parts comedic meltdown and moral dilemma. Will Ryan address the rumors head-on with a trademark wisecrack? Will Blake speak up? Will we discover it's all been blown out of proportion, or that Ryan's comedic train went way off the rails? Only time, and possibly a PR-laden apology, will tell. In the meantime, fans are rewatching old Ryan Reynolds interviews with new eyes, wondering if he's always flirted with that boundary between comedic genius and cringe. Whether he can smooth talk his way out of this fiasco, the way Wade Wilson slips out of trouble remains to be seen. For now, the rumor machine keeps churning, and the world sits back, half laughing, half appalled, waiting for the next plot twist in the Reynolds lively parenting saga. Stay tuned, because Hollywood is never boring, and apparently neither is Ryan's approach to fatherhood.